First of all, I want to bring a little bit of clarity on what is your dark side because a lot of men are getting confused with this. They think that it's about being dominant, it's about being dangerous, it's about being the high value man. But it's not that. Your dark side is what? It's your insecurities, it's your fears, it's your doubts, it's the behaviors, the thoughts, the internal stories that you tell yourself or that you do that run your life without you realizing it, or maybe you realize it, but you let it happen even though it hurts you, even though it feels like, God damn, I'm lying to myself, or maybe it feels like I'm not at my full potential. This is exactly what the dark side is about. The dark side is controlling your life. Let me repeat, your dark side is controlling your life and you let it happen. This is serious work here. So, for example, if you're getting rejected by a woman, maybe your dark side makes a meaning out of this, right? So maybe your dark side could say, oh, if a woman rejects me, I'm not good enough. Maybe if you have a date, you start overthinking about what should I say, what should I do. Basically, your dark side is controlling you. It's not letting you be present in the moment and actually enjoy her, right? It's putting you in this state of like, what should I do? I'm starting to panic a little bit. I can see she's losing a little bit of attraction. She's not respecting me the way she was before. And then of course it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy and she flakes on you. She gives you a kiss on the cheek and bye bye. Maybe you feel very, very anxious when you're just about to have sex with her, right? Because on the back of your mind, you feel like this woman is too beautiful for you, right? It almost feels like you don't deserve her. How can a woman like this be with me, right? This can happen. It happened to me. And because of that experience, I was not able to get it up. It was so frustrating. I had a beautiful woman in my bed and I couldn't get it up because I was so much in my head feeling all the anxiety and I couldn't do anything about it, right? This is again your dark side controlling you. It's controlling you and you don't realize it. So the work here is to integrate this dark side, is to shine light into the dark so that it becomes light itself. Because when you bring light to the darkness, you have taken control of it. And it's not you, the slave, you have become the owner of your own life, right? So I want this video to give you a bit of a technique to work with your dark side. So basically to work with your insecurities, with your fears, with your traumas, with your shadows, with your doubts, like all this stuff that is happening inside. And it's going to be maybe a little bit complex. So I really want you to watch it carefully. Maybe you'll have to watch it a couple of times to actually make sense of what I'm saying. But if you apply this technique, it could potentially help. It might not help everyone that will watch this. And that's why you have multiple techniques to work with your internal world, with your dark side, with your insecurities and fears and stuff like that. And if you want to get access to these techniques, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel or join the academy. But I want to really give you this so that you can start working on yourself after watching this video. So the first step is very simple. I want you to make a list of all your insecurities, all your fears, all your doubts about yourself and also about women, right? Connected to your dating life. So for example, I am scared of getting rejected. That could be one. Or it could be, I am overthinking. Whenever I'm in front of a beautiful woman, I start to overthinking. Maybe it could be, I tend to not be able to be myself when I'm with a woman. Because if I be myself, she will lose attraction. That could be an insecurity. That could be a fear. That could be a shadow. It could be also like, I feel so not good enough when I'm in front of a woman. I don't feel like I deserve her. Again, insecurity. And I could go on and on about this, okay? There's so much about this. So really make sure to dive deep into your psyche and actually understand like what's actually happening when you go on a date, when you go outside, meet a woman, when you're just about to have sex with her, like what's actually happening inside of you? What kind of thoughts do you have? What kind of internal beliefs do you have? Or maybe some stories that you're telling yourself, and make this list as big as possible. You want to go as deeply as possible into that. When you've done that, you want to expand on each of these insecurities, each of these fears. Yeah. So the way to do that is very simple. You can simply ask yourself this question: what does it mean about me? What is the meaning I am making from this? So let's take an example. I am scared of getting rejected. What does it mean about me to get rejected by a woman? Right? And one of the answers that could come out of this is, oh, I feel invincible. I'm going to be lonely. I'm not going to feel good enough. Blah, blah, blah. Right? And then for the next insecurity, and you ask the same question: what does it mean for me to not feel good enough for my ideal woman? And then you can come up with, well, I will be less of a man. I will be all alone. I'm going to start feeling like shit. Blah, blah, blah. Right? And you start to really go deep into that. And then when you really have felt all of this, because the uncomfortable thing about this exercise is that you might actually feel some of these emotions. Yeah. So if that happens and it's a little bit too much, make sure to stop, to relax, to take some deep breath and stay centered and grounded. Yeah. Because that's really important. You want to be centered and grounded throughout the whole time. Yeah. Now that you have all this list, you expanded on all the insecurities, all the fears, all the traumas and stuff like that. You want to shift this, right? Because you don't want to stay stuck with this, of course. You don't want to stay stuck with, oh, I'm scared of getting rejected. I don't feel good enough and stuff like that. Because then it will just keep on happening and happening and happening. Nothing will change in your dating life. Your dark side will still run your life. So the question to ask yourself to really shift this is this one: is that ultimately true? So you take the trail that you have created. Let's take the same example. I'm scared of getting rejected by a woman because I will not feel good enough. Is that ultimately true? Probably the answer will be no. Probably, right? And if it's yes, then you have to do a whole other process that I will not talk about in this video because it will be just too complicated. But basically, the answer should be no. Yeah, usually it's no. So we're going to go with that. And then what you want to do is to rewrite this new belief about a possibility of something else. So again, let's take the same example. Fear of getting rejected, it means I'm not good enough. It's not ultimately true. So what is the new story that I could tell myself? What is the new belief? What is the new thought that I could create? Well, we could say, she rejected me because we were incompatible, because it was not meant to be, because the chemistry wasn't right, because it wasn't just good for us, right? This is a much better thought to have. This is a much better belief to have than to say to yourself, if she rejected me, it means I'm not good enough. Because if we look at it like from a distance, all of this, is it really, really true that we're not good enough when a woman rejects us? No. So why are we always telling ourselves this story when we get rejected by a woman? Why do we feel like shit when we get rejected by a woman? It makes no sense because there could be multiple reasons why she rejected us, right? But why do we make it about us is the question. So that's why we want to rewrite those internal stories, right? So now let's imagine you go outside or you go on a date and she rejects you, right? It happens. Now you can tell yourself this new story. And you will see that slowly with time, it's not something instant, but slowly with time, as you tell yourself these new stories, you're going to start building a new identity. An identity that will be much more healthy than the one that says to himself, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy of my ideal woman, blah, blah, blah. Because The self-talk that you have, I'm sure you heard it, is very crucial, right? If you tell yourself constantly that you're not good enough, that you're a little piece of shit, that you don't deserve any beautiful woman, of course it's going to become a reality. Whereas if you tell yourself that you are good enough, that a rejection doesn't mean anything, that you can attract your ideal woman, etc., etc., this will naturally help you actually make this true, you know? So, this is one technique that you can use. Let me know in the comments how it works for you. I'm really curious. There are many other ways to work with your like internal beliefs, with your insecurities, with your fears. And like I said, I can teach you this in my YouTube channel. So make sure to subscribe because I'm going to make more videos about this. But if you want to go really deep into this, if you're someone that is serious about doing this work, I recommend to join the Academy. It's my mastermind, my private mastermind for my clients. And if you're interested, you can just send me a message on Facebook or Instagram, Academy, and I'll send you all the details. Thank you for watching, my brother. I hope you're enjoying this kind of content. I'm again planning to do this on a weekly basis because I really love doing that. And I see you when I see you, my brother.